Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the UK government's current approach to dealing with homelessness. The idea they're putting forward is to encourage, or potentially require, social housing providers to create space within their properties for people who are currently homeless. On the surface, that might sound like a positive move. After all, homelessness across the UK has been increasing, and clearly something needs to be done. However, in my view, a large part of this issue actually stems from government policies themselves. Over time, the rental market has been reduced, which has created additional pressure. As a result, local councils are now facing extremely high costs for temporary accommodation, costs that many simply cannot sustain. This means they are struggling to support everyone who genuinely needs help. In this video, I'll walk you through what the government is proposing, share my perspective on it, and also talk about a charity that, in my opinion, is making a real and measurable difference, particularly in London. Before we get into all of that, if you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so and turning on notifications. The channel shares regular updates on house prices, interest rates, and property investment. If you find this video useful, leaving a like also helps more people see it, which is always appreciated. Now, interestingly, there is actually a dedicated minister responsible for homelessness. Her name is Alison McGovern. She has outlined a broader ambition from the Labour Party to effectively eliminate homelessness, which is, of course, an important and widely supported goal. However, when we look at the data, homelessness in the UK continues to rise year after year. In fact, it's currently at one of its highest levels ever recorded, and there are concerns it could continue to increase. From my perspective, one of the contributing factors is the way landlords have been treated in recent years. Policies that are seen as unfavorable have led many landlords to exit the market altogether. For example, since November 2025, around 11% of tenants have received Section 21 no-fault eviction notices. That equates to roughly 460,000 people needing to find alternative housing. While some will successfully relocate, others may end up in temporary accommodation, and unfortunately, some could become homeless. The government has responded by outlining a long-term strategy. One of the key points mentioned is a 10-year plan to invest £39 billion into affordable housing. In principle, that sounds promising. But the real question is whether these plans will actually be delivered. It's not uncommon to hear large figures and ambitious projects discussed, yet see limited progress in reality. This is particularly important because homelessness affects real people, including families and children, many of whom are currently living in very difficult temporary conditions. Some councils are already under significant strain. Brighton Council, for instance, has publicly stated that they are struggling to cope. They've highlighted that recent policy changes have increased the number of people requiring support, while at the same time resources remain limited. In fact, they required emergency funding just to maintain basic operations and avoid financial collapse. Looking at practical solutions, one organization that stands out to me is Thames Reach. From personal experience, having volunteered with them and observed their work closely, their approach appears both structured and effective. Their process begins with outreach. They receive reports about individuals sleeping rough, whether under bridges, in car parks, or other locations. And then teams go out to locate and engage with those individuals. When they find someone, they carefully approach them and offer support, explaining what options are available that same night, such as hostel spaces or support centers. What makes their approach particularly effective is what happens next. During the day, individuals can access support services where they develop practical skills. This can include learning computer skills or trades such as plumbing and carpentry. These opportunities not only improve employability, but also support mental well-being. Mental health support is a key part of their model. Many people experiencing homelessness are also dealing with underlying mental health challenges, so having access to that support is essential. Over time, Thames Reach also provides more stable accommodation options and works with partners to help individuals transition back into employment. One notable partnership is with the John Lewis Group. They quietly provide employment opportunities to individuals who have progressed through the rehabilitation process. It's not something they heavily promote, but it does create real outcomes, helping people move from homelessness back into stable work and housing. This kind of structured, step-by-step support is, in my view, where the real difference is made. Simply placing someone into accommodation without addressing underlying issues may not lead to long-term success. This brings us back to the government's proposal of requiring social housing providers to take in homeless individuals. While the intention is positive, its effectiveness depends heavily on the level of ongoing support provided. Without proper systems in place, including mental health services and guidance, there is a risk that individuals may struggle to maintain stability. At the same time, councils are currently spending around £2.8 million each on temporary accommodation. This level of spending is not sustainable in the long run, which is why more effective, long-term solutions are needed. In my opinion, organizations like Thames Reach demonstrate what can work when support is comprehensive and consistent. There may be value in the government working more closely with or investing in similar models. That's where things currently stand. The government is exploring new approaches, including expanding the role of social housing providers, but the success of these plans will likely depend on how well they are implemented and supported. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this topic, so feel free to share them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, consider liking and subscribing, and you can also explore more content on the channel.